Gentlemen, welcome to the New View Show, where we challenge the status quo and explore the world through a fresh lens. The New View Show is here to be your guide, offering insightful discussion, in-depth discussion, and meaningful conversation on the topics that matter most. Gone are the days of passive observation. Open your mind, expand your horizon, and prepare to see the world from a new view and fresh perspective. The New View Show is about to begin. Let's venture into a world of enlightenment, exploration, and endless possibilities.
Welcome to the New View. Today we have Anna, Michelle, Ada, and me. We are going to be having a nice conversation. I want to start, ladies, talking to you about something that happened to me. I was having this conversation with my best friend, and he's single, and he was saying, "Oh, I'm ready to have a relationship." And we were, he was doing all this evaluation about how he's ready, and then we were having dinner, etc., and then I went to the bathroom and came back and said, "No way, you're not ready to have a relationship." He said, "How come you change your answer? We've been talking for hours and you say that I'm ready." I said, "No, you're not ready." So the question for you, ladies, is okay to leave the toilet seat up and the toilet paper roll empty?
No way.
No
Put
way.
it down. Mommy should have taught you that.
Yeah, I know.
Correct?
I tell you, it happened to me today. My friend's son came over, and the little boy left the toilet seat up, and I was just like, oh my God, I was holding back so much. I was gonna be like, Chris, you need to tell your son and teach your son to put the toilet seat down.
Right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't even leave the lid up. Like, I always close it.
Yes.
I don't
It's
want to
super
flush money
important.
down the toilet, so I close
Yeah.
all of it.
Close the
I'm
lid completely
superstitious.
before I flush, because I heard one time that if you flush with the lid up, it can like
Oh,
like,
the bacteria comes
the
out.
particles of the
Ew.
bacteria.
God.
So close the
That's
lid.
gross.
And then
And that's where the
Physically.
faith comes from. Like, well, then we gotta ask God for good men that that has already good manners. You know what I mean? Like, because if you like to be neat and you like neat, cleanness.
I'm very
You
neat.
definitely
Yes.
want someone with the same, the same values and it's clean. And if you forget, you need to have mercy because that person's gonna also will think about you. You know what? I'm not gonna just not only leave the thing, but I'm not gonna let the pee around it too because some guys do that as well.
Yeah.
So that's
They don't
what I
even
like,
know. And
well,
then they just walk out the door and
That's-
leave it like
that's
that.
gross. So
Yeah.
that's my prayer. Lord, I want
Or-
someone very clean, please. Thank you very much. Amen.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, and it's true. You have to
Namaste.
be loving and kind. I grew up with two brothers, right?
Oh, I
So-
can beat you. 4.
Oh wow! So one day I was up to here and I put a note on the toilet lid. I said, if you're reading this, it's because you forgot about something. They were mad like for a week, but after that they learned the lesson. You are interacting with ladies, so please.
I have
Okay.
a bunch of brothers myself, and the youngest are like my kids, right? So not only that you learn all the the tricks and the boys and the disgustingness, you have to hear their conversations too, and they want to make you say those words. Like, this is for my brothers. They still make fun of me because they still want to say these words like bad words. I'm like, nope,
No.
I'm not saying it.
No.
But they're not gross. They're very clean. So kudos, boys.
Hey, so I have a question now.
Okay, go
So I think this is a good question since we're on this topic.
Let's
Um,
see.
What are your top 3 pet peeves about your significant other? Your woman, man, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife?
Something that for me, my pet peeve is someone that is not hygiene, like teeth, nails.
Oh, yes.
If I see someone with like very gross nails and like disgusting teeth, like like not, and there's someone doesn't like wear cologne or that, for me is just I can't. That's
Okay.
it. It has to be someone really hygiene, clean. Doesn't have to be rich, but it has to be clean. Like, come on.
No tartar in the teeth.
Yeah, and the nails, like gross.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
No, we're not having
yeah,
any.
for me, guys.
things.
Lord, there you go.
Yes.
Yes.
We're making the list of
Yes.
the,
Yes.
we are making our
What
Request
about you guys? What
to
about
God.
you guys? What are you?
Oh.
I'm thinking. Why don't you answer before me? Because
No, come on.
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to think.
Oh, you know right off the top of your head. You have a boyfriend.
I do
so
have a boyfriend, but
what
there-
bugs you?
Tell the truth.
Maybe it's
Maybe
just because I've been away from him for like 2 months, home doing this internship, but I like, can't think of anything.
Oh, because
Wow.
you miss him.
I
Ooh, that's perfect. How long you guys been dating?
Sweet.
Like 4 months.
Oh.
Oh, well, you're still in the honeymoon stage.
She still hasn't seen the good, the bad, and the ugly.
No, not yet, not yet. They are
All
still
right.
behaving.
Oh, gosh. Carolina, what about you?
For me, it's really, it's more than, of course, manners, it's important, the cleanliness and everything, but for me, it's really important a man that is intelligent, that is open-minded. If it's somebody that I cannot speak about anything, that's for me.
That's
Like,
shallowness,
so
yeah.
that shallowness
Yes.
is like, oh my goodness, I cannot deal with
I
that.
agree. That's another one
Yeah.
for me.
It's
Like, yeah.
difficult to, because sometimes we focus on the small thing like the toilet. Of course, you already know that's number one
Yeah.
for me. If we talk about physical things, the toilet lid, please close it. It's so important. so important. You don't know. That's a sign of love.
All right. Okay. I got one. The sign of love. They think that they're trying to fix you and then keep telling you how to live your life, how to fix things. Like, so if I like to shop and I happen to have a little bit of debt, they all want to like fix me and say, oh, well, you got to pay your credit cards off. Like, don't tell me what to do. I got this far without you. And I don't need to be fixed.
Yeah, but
That's-
that's the nature of
and
men,
then
right?
I
They
know,
want
but-
to solve the problem. That's
I
it.
know, and then they end up talking too much. Here's another one. They talk too much. They talk so much, some of them, that I
have
can't
one.
even stay
I
in the
have-
conversation.
I have one too, like clinginess. I mean, I'm dealing with, for some reason, people gets to this clinginess stage that is.
Oh, the clinginess.
It
Oh,
really
yeah.
like people that are super clingy, like within a week or a month, they want to marry you and stuff like that, and like it's just like for me a little like scary.
It's kind of like codependency.
Yeah,
Too
too much,
much.
too fast.
For
Yeah.
instance, I don't mind building and becoming your friend, but when you want to just introduce me to your mother, like within a week, I'm like, wait a minute, there's something going on, and that is a big thing that I can't. I like independency, like I love love, but you need to have your own hobbies and your own friends and your own things to do. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So when you guys are dating, okay, because I think we're all single here, right? I mean,
No.
except like not married, but
Yeah.
like, so I used to, when I was dating, I used to always have like this 3, 6, 9 month rule. And my 3 month was if they can make it past 3 months and nothing happens, they don't cheat on you or anything, you're good to go for another 3. And then same thing with the 6 month rule, then it goes to the 9. And then once you pass that, it's like, oh, I think we're having, we're getting somewhere. But then it really takes a little bit longer to get to know somebody. Because, like we said,
you never ends up getting to know them as you think you do. Because I've seen marriages, they're like 30 years married and the husband or wife have a totally parallel life that you find out when someone passed away. So you think you know someone, you really know. The only one that knows the depths of the heart of the man is God. Because men are so changeable. We love you. We've been, know for friends like 30 years. But if the one thing that you may do to me, like I never knew you, don't, you know what I mean? Like people that hold those grudges, and they forget maybe 30 years of friendship or love or accomplishments or whatever it is for one act of whatever that you did. So, and then you see that we think we know people's heart. We don't.
what act? Like what
You know?
act are you referring to?
No, just in general. Let's say a betrayal, right? Or a
Like
man
cheating?
that is cheating or
Okay.
abuse or something like that, or a betrayal of a friend,
Ooh,
right?
that,
Or
I have
a
another
family.
question too.
Right. Go ahead.
Whose fault is it if the man cheats? Is it the man's
man.
fault?
Well, it depends.
I think it's
Or-
both
Yeah,
because
well,
it's, the man is
depends,
looking
yeah.
outside. Maybe
Yes,
something
there's
is
some
missing
things
What if,
inside.
but what if the
Yeah.
woman is perfect and she's doing
There is nobody
everything?
perfect.
Well, it's hard to
Yeah.
believe. I have to
That's
say
hard
that's
to
not
believe.
fair.
Some
That's not
are,
fair.
though.
One
No.
leads to the other, unless the person has some psychological issues, right? Because you could actually give her everything that he wants: the sex, the life, the this, the this, the this, the that, and it's still not enough. Then there is something missing in that person, and it's not you. So that person, for me, releases you, for you feel guilty because you try it all. Before
Right.
God, you went to counseling, you did this, you bought the Victoria's Secret thing, you blah blah blah. You did everything you could before the Lord, and the person she cheated. That it releases you like in peace. So there's no guilt here. There's no, for me, I did my part,
Right.
So, hey, and besides, if you cheat, like you're giving me freedom to meet somebody else before God. Hey, yay, somebody new. Woo, woo.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
That's funny.
So we have here a question that says, "What advice would you give to your son if his girlfriend was abusive, or the other way around, right? If you have a partner that is abusive, what will you do?"
That's a tough question, especially as a 21-year-old. You know, I don't have kids or anything, but I had a good friend in high school who her girlfriend was terrible to her, and I could see that, and I saw and her girlfriend really did not like me because she kind of saw that I could see through it. And the first time they were having problems and stuff, I really tried to like tiptoe around it. I didn't want to flat out say like, your girlfriend is terrible, she treats you awful, like you need to break up with her. But then they broke up, and I was kind of like, okay. And then they got back together, and that made me upset. And that time, I wasn't as like trying to tiptoe around it. I was like, you word for word told me how toxic it was and how you were so happy you weren't together. And then you got back with her. I was like, what are you doing? And it really drove a wedge between that friendship, and actually we don't talk anymore. And so I think you can try all you want, and it always comes from love. It's someone, you know, you said a kid, a friend, you know, a kid, family member, whatever it is, you know, you want to see them be happy, and you want to see them be with someone that treats them well. But if they're not willing and ready to hear that information and receive it, you can take it out on you.
Well, I just think that they're not willing to hear it. They hear it all the time. They're just not willing to let go.
Yeah.
True.
That is the
Yeah.
thing. It's not of you. I mean, don't take
Yeah.
it personally. Like, our job, for me particularly, is to keep on loving them regardless. Keep on being the shoulder, not telling them what to do.
Yeah.
Because we are so like wired in our head that we need to tell people what to do. If they don't, they get mad.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's fair. Because,
Yeah.
you know, like, yes, I just want you to hear me out. Don't tell me what to do, though, because I know what to do. I just don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Just have me compassion, you know what I
the
mean?
other
Until I'm
thing-
ready.
What about the level of abuse? Because there's
true.
there's certain levels of abuse. There's certain kinds of abuse. There's verbal. There's emotional.
Right.
There's physical.
Right.
And you know, there's just so gaslighting. Another one. You know, and that's
yeah.
just maybe a type of it.
No, but I'm not saying to tolerate the abuse itself. I'm talking
But-
about to the friend that is
Sure.
being trying to tell you, and try to save you, and then you get upset because that person don't take
they
your.
have to want to be saved.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Exactly,
no, you should
yeah.
not tolerate abuse whatsoever. In fact, I have a rule. Like, I saw abuse growing up, and like, you know, as a little girl, and I said, the guy that ever tried even to do this to me, that's it.
Right.
And I have never been one that actually I've stayed with them even if they spoke to me loud. Because the minute that you allow once,
That's
it's going to
it.
continue happening to
Right.
you and forever. You get it's like an addiction.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is satanic. It's not from God.
Totally. And so,
Ooh.
you know, sometimes I think that people in the relationship, doesn't matter if you, each side of the relationship, you accept abuse, because sometimes people confuse love with abuse.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's the real problem.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you think that you have to
Stay.
support all this abuse
To take
because
care.
they love
That's
me so
not-
much, but that's
no.
not true.
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
it messes with your mind, and then you tend to justify it,
Yes,
and it's
no.
like you have
And
to
it
kind of
ends up
just not.
I come from a country that murdered, like, passion. It's called passion murders, to the point that guy is like, if you're not with me, you cannot be without me either.
Passion.
They
What is
call
it?
The passionate murders, the killers.
passionate
yes.
murderers.
Yeah, basically,
I've never heard of that.
femicidio, like that.
They
Basically,
call the females.
yeah, they kill the woman because
What?
the woman don't want to be with them
Yeah.
anymore, and it's like an addiction that
This
is
is
so
real?
satanic. It
Yeah.
is. It
Oh
is.
my
In
God.
third world countries happens all the time, but it only
Wow.
started with once, maybe smack in the face, and then the following day I punch your face, and I continue, and it becomes like a freaking chain. From we need to let go of that. The first day that someone even tried to raise your voice, you have to say no, and you have to move on, no matter how much you like that person. That's it.
Wow,
Cause
I've never heard of that before. That's really
It is a fact.
wild.
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah, absolutely.
have you heard that?
I don't think I've heard that specific term, but I've heard of what you're talking about, like of this happening to people in relationships, specifically women. But the passionate murders, that actual term, I hadn't heard before. No.
Right?
Yeah.
You
Oh,
wanna
yes,
make it so that-
totally. In Latin America, that happens a lot,
Mm.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it's because of that, right? Because
People here, you guys call it stalkers because
Yeah.
they're like
Oh,
watch you
okay.
from the distance, follow
Yeah.
you, follow you, and you guys freak out. Over there, they're not stalkers; they're actually murderers.
Yeah.
You know,
They go the next step.
they go
so,
to exactly.
yeah.
That is a soul psychological, like you know, a lot of issues. So again, for me, my to go to is God. Help me not to meet someone online because of lack of love or whatever. You're single, society. No, absolutely not. You need to have
Wow.
your
Standards
Ladies,
and-
I'm learning a lot from you guys. Seriously. I mean, I may be half Latin, you know, Puerto Rican, whatever, but I didn't grow up in that culture at all. So I've never, this is the first time I'm hearing this
very
stuff.
edgy topic tonight, huh?
Yeah.
But it's the reality, though. We can't just like sugarcoat the reality.
No, no,
You
not
know?
at all.
No.
So going to the other side, what do you think about open relationships?
Oh, for me, never.
For me personally, no,
This doesn't work for
it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, no. I
The
mean,
one and only.
if other people make it work and that they're
That's
happy,
good for them.
Yeah,
them.
good for them.
I can't.
But I asked
imagine
myself, how
that.
come they do it, right?
And I
Because
guess
sometimes-
I don't know if it's a different mindset or
Yeah.
just a different. I don't know what the difference is, but no, I can't do that.
Absolutely not. That's another door that you open for another type of like mental craziness that you pass into your kids as well. If you think
Oh.
about it, it's not just you.
Yeah.
Then you become almost like a cult. You know, you pass it to your kids, and that mentality is so like too liberal for me. You bring too many, you know, other things that you don't want to bring. I mean, just me. No, I'm just saying. I don't want it to just receive emails and things like that saying that I'm just being hateful. Talking about what as for me in my
Yeah.
house, we reserve the Lord. You know what I mean? I'm a very passionate woman, and that's not true that I would want my man to be like be kids when hanging out with somebody else.
Yeah.
Unless, and then even if he, because I'm sure he's not gonna be happy with that. You know, like, oh yeah, you like. I'm gonna have another boyfriend, and trust me, we're gonna have a lot of fun, and you're gonna stay tonight at home. I don't think he's gonna be happy with that.
Yeah, no.
You know?
And sometimes what I notice is when they talk about open relationships, the male is okay to have an open relationship, but when the female says I'm gonna have an open relationship, it's like no,
Yeah,
that's not. So it's not equal in that.
It's just another double standard.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nope.
There you go. Double standard.
So and besides, it shouldn't. Like, why? If that person is your one, if, fulfill all your needs, why would you have to bring a third and a fourth? There was from a woman and a man.
Already, a relationship between two is complex.
exactly,
Imagine
too
when
much
you start
energy.
adding.
No.
That's
It's like
complicated.
energy, time,
Yeah.
money. Are you kidding me?
Everything. Yeah.
Every time you get pissed.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't be doing it like to multiple guys.
You know what? I was in college and I was
Like in a
dating this guy. I was so in love with him. It was unbelievable. And it was our senior prom, and we were actually had a few drinks, and we were like messing around. And next thing you know, he's signaling some guy to come in the room, and I'm like, oh my God! I'm like, nope, this is over. I'm done. And then I just like walked up. I'm like, you need to bring me home right now.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. But that's even
I was
worse
only like
because
I
that's.
was like 18 years old.
But that's worse because you didn't even
Yeah.
know. It was like,
They could have raped you.
yeah.
Yes, that's awful.
It's another thing
I
that
guess I was probably
you
lucky.
have you have your consent and you say yes we agree we have an open relationship, this is what I'm gonna do, but that
Yeah,
was
no, it's too many craziness,
Yeah.
girls. We
Yeah.
need to be so aware and prayed up. Like I was watching the news the other day, and there is this picture on Facebook. This girl that has been missing, beautiful girl, like a blonde girl. Like I'm bringing it out there just in case somebody else have seen her. Like was allured by this guy from California, very handsome. The picture, the guy's like super hot, and the same night, boom, gone. Thousands of dollars of credit cards are missing. Her phone was, we need to be aware.
That's why. So I have a boyfriend now, but before that, me and my friends, we have Tinder and Bumble and Hinge and all those things, and we like all have each other's location, and we'll say like, okay, I'm going on a date with this person. You have my location. If I don't come back, like, and
Wow.
we're aware of like the risks, but that's, I mean, especially moving, I grew up in Florida and I go to college in Arizona now, so moving all the way across the country, I didn't know anyone. That's how everyone, my age is doing things. So it's like, yeah, so I would just be like, all right, this is like, you know, I'd screenshot their profile. This is who I'm going
It
out
didn't
with. You have my
used to
location.
be like this.
Correct.
It really didn't.
But you know what happened is that the casualty now, like I've seen people dating multiple people at the same time constantly. I says, how do you do it? Like, how do you have the energy and the heart to do this all the time?
Do you think that you can be in love of multiple people at the same
Okay,
time?
I have
I
a
don't
guy.
think
I have a
so.
friend. He's a guy friend, and he has a morning
but you
date,
love
lunch
them.
date, and dinner date.
Oh, really?
And sometimes he has a date after that, and I'm like, oh my god! And like
How
he
can keep up?
just moved to Florida, and he's like, I can't find a girl.
Oh
And
my
then-
God! All these dates, of course, he doesn't give him
And
the
he
time.
then he starts dating somebody for a couple weeks, and then after that, I mean, he's not sexually satisfied.
Oh, you see,
And it's like he says he's giving more. He's not getting what he's giving. So
You know what he should give is his time, though. Like you can't. This is impossible that within an hour or two you meet someone. You need to give quality time to people. You know, some quirkiness that we may have is like, oh, it has to be this way, but not physically. But then he's a jerk, like you said, someone shallow. Give quality time to people. Like people want everything like so fast food, even like dates.
Yeah. Everything
Oh,
has to be
right.
instant coffee.
Uber.
Like
Like
that.
everything is just like that.
Uber
like
everything.
It's possible. Like, come on, give the girl a month. Let her show you that she does.
Yes.
She cooks. You know what I mean? Like she's probably intelligent.
yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, it may not have. You know, it's just so crazy now. People like, let's just slow
But I
down.
think it's also because people, they don't know how to be alone, so they prefer to be with somebody.
whatever, yeah.
It doesn't matter, just not to be alone. There are
Yeah.
many people like this.
I think that's a lot, you know, and I've known girls like in high school and stuff that just jump from boyfriend to boyfriend because they're like, I need a boyfriend,
Exactly.
someone.
I need
Or like,
someone.
I know, you know, every time I go on Instagram or something and I see like someone I went to high school with, like marriage announcement, pregnancy announcement, I'm like, whoa, like, I'm like, yo, we're like 20,
21?
21. Yeah, I'm like, because I'm like, I still feel like a child a lot of the time. I'm like,
I still feel like a child.
I'm like, but
I
you're
tell
having
everybody get a
I'm
dog.
like- but I think there's a lot, especially, you know, I'm from, you know, about an hour from here. It's a much smaller area. And I think there's a lot of girls that just straight out of high school, they don't know what else to do. So they're like, you know, they don't want to be by themselves and they're like,
That's what you guys need to do, you know, bring ministry or something like that. Go to missions. There's a lot of things out there that the people could do besides having babies, you know.
there is. And I think a lot of them, their moms did the same thing. Their grandmas probably did the same thing.
Right. Yeah, but we are in a society right now that thank God to technology. Now there's no way that people don't know, have access to all the life. We can, I mean, I kudos to those who want their life. Praise the Lord. Hey, let me just not, you know, be mean or anything. But I don't want to repeat the same circle life of my mother and stuff. Like, I want to be able to communicate with my daughters. I have a 13-year-old and a 26. That's why you see me on Instagram and Facebook trying to be cool because I want to be able to speak with them. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my relationship with my kids and my other friends. I wouldn't be able to understand what's going on because you guys speak in codes. You know, you can't, and I'm not going to try. Like, God bless my mother. She did what she could and amazing. But I want to be a little bit more step up, you know what I mean? So I do believe that there's so much out there. Like if you go to the third world countries, it's going to transform you for real, totally. Like we have this so blessed in here. God bless America. I pray for this country because it has given me so much opportunities. And you would feel so fulfilled just by going in a ministry, just one ministry like somewhere. It would change your life,
Okay.
you know? And you would meet someone amazing there as well that you can do ministry together, not maybe have babies right away, you know? I'm a young mother.
Yeah, but also is why they have babies, right? When people sometimes get pregnant, it's not lack of information. It's because sometimes they believe that having the baby, they are gonna
That's the way
be
to
attached. That's the way
And
to
it's gonna-
maintain
they'll
the
get love.
relationship.
They'll get love
So
and
he's not
keep
gonna
the
go
man.
away because now we're gonna have a
Yeah, with
child,
the
and that's
baby,
not
yeah.
the truth. That's
Big
not the
mistake.
truth. That's
It's
a
not
big
true,
mistake.
but yeah.
Especially when you are not ready, when it's not planned, when you don't have the resources of the support.
When you don't
it's
love the
not-
person, you just get
Exactly.
pregnant.
Exactly.
It was like a oops, you know?
Yeah.
So there you are.
So that being said, what
Can you
would
say that
be
again?
your
The
advice?
oops.
That being said, what would be your advice to a friend, a daughter, somebody that you love that got pregnant and says, I want to get an abortion?
I'm pro-choice. I think that it's the woman's decision fully. So if she said she wanted that, I would say, okay.
I'm pro-life, so the first question will be why you want to get an abortion, because I'm pro-choice but pro-life. Because sometimes what I notice is sometimes people, they go into abortion because it's the easy way out. If you were responsible to be able to have sexual relationship, then you know the consequences. So what about if
Yeah, but
get
you
pregnant?
really have to think about what you're doing,
Yeah.
what kind of resources you have to bring up a child, how you're
That's
going to
so
do
true.
it, and you have to think forward, and you have to think of how that child's life's going to be, because it's the rest of your life. You know, it's a lot, and if you have a partner that's not going to participate, and you're growing up, and you don't have any support, and you don't have a support system,
I understand.
then it's going to be a very hard decision if you do have that child or you don't have that child. You just have to make that right decision.
Yeah, but it's as you say, it has to be an informed decision, not the right away, my first option is an abortion. That's my point of view.
Well, I have to be that I'm totally pro-choice, because I could have had a choice of, not having my daughter at the age of 19, 20 years old. And I was offered by the father that, this is what you should do. And thank God that at that age, just as afraid as I was, and God was sending angels to me, and like never thought about doing it. Like it was almost like, should I? Like what? But never wanted to do it. And I didn't know what was going to happen. And my daughter is the most amazing little girl that there is, and very smart and very well spoken and very new. She's a New Yorker, so she has a voice like a defender. And all I said was God was going to provide, and He did. And you
Did
know
it
what I'm
ever
saying?
cross your mind to have an abortion?
I didn't know. I didn't know God back then. I was only 19, and I kind of like, should I? But I didn't want it. Like inside of me,
You
I
knew.
knew from God. I wasn't a Christian, that wasn't the right thing to do. So I was so excited telling Andrea that I was pregnant that a friend of mine says, "But are you gonna have an abortion?" I'm like, I don't think so. I don't want this. Like, this is not something that I wanted. And my mother supported me. Like, I had the most amazing support system at home, because I'm the only child. That instead of being, what, you're gonna get up, it was the opposite. Like, this is our baby. Who is he? Is he responsible? No. Okay, then that's our child. Don't worry. Boom, boom, boom. My mother covered everything. In Dominican Republic, we have to have private hospitals, like clinics, right? Not like here. And she paid for everything. Like, and everything I needed, that child had through her entire life. And I was so afraid that the world was going to kill me. And I was 19. I didn't know what to do. I had to quit school so I can support the kid. But my mother was so supportive that I wasn't afraid to make this step of faith. So that is my 2 cents of faith, that I'm always going to go that route, because that child could be the next president, the next scientist, the next whoever. And God, if He gives it to you, He knows why. Regardless of the pain, I'm sorry. Like I said, I understand pain. I know that if that's the route, I'm not here to judge anybody. God is just the only one that is our judge. But I'm talking about on my experience.
And that's why I like the term is pro-choice, not pro-abortion. I don't think it's the right choice for everyone. And it wasn't in your case, and you have a fantastic daughter, sounds like. But I just think that a lot of times, unwanted pregnancies turn into unwanted children, and those end up being in the foster care systems and abused, and a lot of mothers, if they get pregnant, it maybe they're being abused themselves, and they don't want to bring a kid into that and make it worse and stuff like that. So
Everybody has their story, right?
Exactly.
Correct. And that's what I said. We're not here to judge their motives, the way that I'm just giving you, for whoever is probably thinking that is going maybe through the same situation that I'm going through, maybe have the same faith that I have, the same God saved my child. I could have made the other choice, would have been the fun, like, hey, cool, let's do it, boom, boom, boom. I had an amazing life anyway. I was the only child, and back then I used to work, make money. But God in me never allowed me to make that choice, and I'm so happy that He didn't allow me. And I was not even a believer yet. To Him all the glory, So, and she's amazing. Like, she's not a moocher. She's a contributor to this
Do you
country.
have a picture?
Yes, my Allison. She is
my cocoa bean, but you can
Yeah.
go in the next
So
one.
while we
Cocoa
see the
bean.
picture, we are gonna go to commercial breaks, and when we come back,
She's a
more of
cocoa
this
bean, huh?
amazing conversation.
Cocoa bean.
Cocoa
yes,
bean.
my-
Cute.
This segment was brought to you by Blossom Botanicals, the perfect blend for healthy skin. Find us at blossombotanicals.square.site. Follow us on Instagram at bb.blossombotanicals.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-485-8801. 800-485-8801. That's 800-485-8801. Do you own a timeshare? At first, maybe it seemed like a great investment, but then you realized a lot of the promises made to you were simply not true. A little later, you started receiving the monthly maintenance fees and additional associated bills they failed to mention when you signed the agreement. And now their fees keep rising. Your times to actually use the timeshare keep shrinking, and the resort has no interest in letting you out of the agreement. Your vacation dream has turned into a timeshare nightmare. An overwhelming, never-ending financial obligation that will fall on your children after you're gone. And it seems as if there is no way out. Well, here's some great news. There is a way out. The Timeshare Exit Hotline has helped hundreds of people just like you. Desperate people who thought they were stuck in this burden forever. Although most professionals in the timeshare industry are legitimate, there are those that use aggressive, sometimes even misleading sales tactics to try and trick innocent people into signing their lives away. We've heard many stories of people who have been lied to and others who were kept in a room for over 10 hours, not provided water or anything to eat, pressured until they were exhausted. These people finally signed a contract just to get out of there. If you're one of the unfortunate people who have been roped into a timeshare nightmare and feel there is no way out, call the number on your screen right now. When we take your case, it means we are highly confident that we can win. We'll provide you with an affordable, one-time fixed fee and our 100% client satisfaction guarantee. Now you don't have to face arrogant, aggressive salespeople alone. We're experts in consumer protection, real estate, and contract law. Even if they bullied you into an agreement, rest assured they're not going to bully us. So don't wait. Call us right now. Even if you've tried another company that failed you, call us. Our track record of successful negotiations speaks for itself. The call is free, the information is free, and there is absolutely no obligation. A single phone call could free you of this burden. So don't wait. Call the Timeshare Exit Hotline right now.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
The New View Show, where we offer insightful discussion, in-depth discussion, and meaningful conversation on topics that matter most. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the New View, and we're going to continue having this amazing conversation. Michelle has some questions for us. So.
I do. So, what do you do if your boyfriend or husband goes out and gets a tattoo without your permission?
I don't like tattoos for myself. I admire in other people, but I don't like it for myself, and I don't like it in my man.
I like tattoos. I have 15 tattoos myself.
Oh,
And I wouldn't have a problem with that. I'd be like, yeah, cool.
Do you think it's an addiction?
Okay, I'll be honest about myself. I got one at 18 thinking that was it, and here I am 21 years old and I have 15 tattoos. So
15.
yeah.
Did
And
it
what is the
hurt?
motivation behind getting the tattoo?
So I mean, so I have Stevie Nicks on today. I love music. That's like my whole life. I want to work in radio because I want to be a DJ and talk about music all the time. My boyfriend is a drummer, and
Cool.
that's my biggest passion. So most of my tattoos are song lyrics or song related in some way, related to the bands and artists that I like.
Is this a tattoo, Barbie, or is it just a?
Okay, on my hand, this is a temporary tattoo.
I
This
love
is a
it.
temporary tattoo.
Did you see the
rest-
movie?
I did, yes.
Okay, and
I loved it. I loved it
Okay.
so much, yeah.
I haven't
Teared up.
seen it. What was your favorite scene?
Favorite scene? I don't know. It depends whether it's like funny, made me laugh the most, or like the most like touching, like heartfelt, scene. Because there's a lot in that movie, and I don't want to spoil it for you or for anyone listening.
Okay. Yep.
But there's a lot about mothers and daughters, and my mom passed away last year and stuff. So a lot of that was really really resonated with me and stuff. But then also like all the stuff with Ken is just hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just funny. So
Okay.
it's definitely a movie that has a lot of levels to it. You're gonna laugh, you might cry. I did, and I also grew up like loving Barbie. I was very girly, growing up, and so like there were Barbies in the movie that I recognized that I had, growing up. So I
Okay.
definitely picked up on a lot of those little hints and
Cool.
things like that.
Can't wait to see it now. Okay, so
You're
my
wearing
next
Barbie
question-
pink.
I know, and it was just by accident because I knew I was going to be on a show with Carolina this morning, so I was like, let me wear pink. So can you pick a tattoo, your favorite tattoo, and probably one that's visible,
Yeah.
and just kind of explain to us like why you got that tattoo?
Yeah, looking down at my arms right now. Okay, let's do, I don't know if I can see the camera up here. So these three, and then there's one on
The other side?
And the-
Okay.
these kind of are all
Cute.
for my mom. So the first one that I got for my mom says Just Like Heaven. And her favorite band was The Cure, and so that's a song by them. And then this one is Love in an Elevator, which is an
Okay.
Aerosmith song. My mom's actually in that music video.
Wow.
And then this one, all the way at the top, is a crocodile that's dressed like Elton John, like playing the piano, because
Love
it's Crocodile
Elton
Rock.
John.
I'm
Oh
not
my
talking into
God.
the mic. I'm sorry, Abraham. And so it's like Crocodile Rock, which was both me and my mom's favorite Elton John song. And like we were supposed to go see him together actually, and I ended up going with my friend because it was after she passed. But so yes, I mean they're all music related, but it's not just I like this band, I'm gonna get this. There's usually more behind it, like something in that song or something from that artist really has like a deeper meaning than just it's fun. I like it.
I guess that I have to have a deeper meaning, because if you're
Yeah.
gonna do it permanently in your body, you want
Yeah.
something with significance.
And I mean, some people do just get them for fun, and that's their own choice. I mean, it's their body. Mine all have at least a little bit more meaning than just, this is cool,
Yeah, well, I wasn't
about
happy
you?
about it when it happened. It was a
So that happened to
boyfriend.
you?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
a
wow.
boyfriend. Of course, I bring all my experiences here. And he'll probably be watching, and he'll probably hear. And I didn't appreciate him getting a tattoo with less is more on it because he did a bet with his assistant. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
But here's a funny story. So I met my biological father because I was adopted. My mom died when I was a baby. So I met my biological father, and he had a tattoo of my first mom on here, Linda. Okay, that was my mom's name. And then his next wife, God, she must have seen it or something, because he had to get her name on the other side, on the other arm. So now he had one wife on one side and the other wife on the other
They
side.
do say you should never get like your partner's name tattooed on. It's like
But
jinxes
that
the
was like
relationship.
1966. Oh, oops, I'm aging myself. But seriously, yeah, I don't have any tattoos.
Yeah, me neither.
You know,
And
I
also
don't
maybe
like
because
it.
I don't like so much the needles. So
Yes.
I won't do it on a
For
chicken.
some reason, I'd rather get a tattoo than like a shot at the doctor.
Oh, wow.
Some of them really don't hurt. I was in the camp for a while that I was like, psh, everyone else is being so dramatic. Tattoos do not hurt that bad. And then I got one like on my sternum and like stomach right here. That one
must have
hurt.
hurt.
That
Oh,
one was
wow.
bad. And so it's like, here's the thing. I can sit there and like not move my arm even if it's hurting. I can like control it. But your stomach like, flexes and, stuff without your brain like,
Wow.
It's like,
How long does it take to get that tattoo?
it really depends. These ones, all of these kind of palm-sized ones, are usually around
Oh, that's
an
the
hour.
lingo, a palm size.
Yeah, like palm,
Okay.
like the palm
Like the palm of your hand?
My hands
Okay.
are small, so they're a little bigger than my palms. But that's
Okay.
kind of that's
Like
like,
an
I
hour.
hear people say that, like, if you're
Okay.
getting a tattoo artist, kind of like, you're talking to them, like, over DMs on Instagram or something, which is how a lot of them do it, nowadays in 2023. They'll kind of ask you, like, about how big, like, palm size,
Okay.
But so those around an hour, some a little more, some a little less. It depends on the detail. The longest I've sat is like 4 hours, and that's the one that's right here. And we did take some breaks.
What'd you do during those 4 hours?
I just laid there and chatted with the artist. I've only been tattooed by women. That was my own choice, just as being more comfortable, around, other women and stuff, especially when for this one here, I had to wear a bikini top. So I definitely was a lot more comfortable with a woman than some, like, creepy dude, So I've gotten along with all of them really well and just chatted with them. I'm not saying that all male tattoo artists are creepy, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't want to take the risk of, any dude can be creepy.
What about, when you say risk, though, what about a risk of, like, some kind of a disease with a needle?
You do a lot of research on your shop and your artists. There are, like, certifications. I can't remember the name of, like, the organizations. But, like, things, and I've done a lot of research before I've gotten any of those. I have, my nose and my belly button pierced as well, and I did research on, like, where I wanted to get those because I wanted to go to someone who's trustworthy and clean, and sometimes you pay a little more for that, but I'd rather pay a little more and know I'm getting something safe than something sketchy,
Well, I know, like, when you have your belly button pierced, because I got my belly button pierced, and they give us a lollipop right after.
Good job.
Do they do that?
What was, I didn't get a lollipop,
I think
but
it
it was
was a sugar
really
rush.
interesting. The piercer, she told me that getting your belly button pierced actually is not that painful for women, but it is really painful
they
for
lie.
men. Well, it's more painful for men, I guess, because women don't have a lot of nerve endings in their stomach, because if you get pregnant, it would be too painful. Like, it needs to be able to stretch. But men don't. They don't get pregnant. So they have a lot of nerve endings in that area, so it's actually much more painful for a man to get his belly button pierced. I don't see a ton of men, but I'm sure there are some out there with their belly button pierced.
Sometimes they get their nipples pierced.
I've seen, like, the rock stars do that, like,
Oh, yeah.
The guys in Motley Crue.
So we talk about tattoos. What about piercings? Are you okay with piercings? In the body?
No, I
Me
like
neither.
that
I'm
very
old
clean
school,
cut,
I'm
shaven kind of
sorry.
guy.
and I think everyone, has those decisions, and you just find someone who has those same values. I don't have any crazy piercings. I think, the side of the nose is a pretty common one, and belly button as well, so, and then the same thing with tattoos. I think you just find someone who likes those things or doesn't like those things, who accepts you as you are,
Yes.
and
Definitely.
and I don't think there's anything wrong with saying you don't like those things. If you don't, you don't. Like, it's
Well,
a preference.
I would say, like, maybe, like, one tattoo's okay. And, just not, I'm not a big fan of, like, the sleeve. I mean, that's just for, like, the person that I date, you know what I mean? If somebody wants to get their, their arm done, that's their decision. But that's just not
I mean,
my
it's
type of person.
Expression of artistic expression. So
Yes.
that's
It is.
really important,
And
right?
it's an extension of the
Who
art
you
that I
are.
love and who I am as a person, and like.
But why on the body, though? Like, that's what I don't understand.
And I don't fully have an explanation for why. It's just I
I
think
mean,
it
there's a
might.
canvas. Why can't you just put your expression on a canvas or something?
Well, because that way they wear it all the time. It's part of them.
It is part of me, and I think
I
almost.
have friends that they say, for example, they show me some tattoos and they say, this is a reminder for me. So they wanted to have it on their body to remember certain things, the good, the bad, the ugly. Doesn't matter what is the meaning behind, but they want it on their skin to remember.
Yeah. And again, I think it might just be something subconscious in there. I know a lot of people don't like them, a lot of people love them. And I can't always verbalize why I wanted to get this tattoo. So, like, I can explain the meaning, but, you say why on the body. I don't fully know. It's just something I feel, something I love. And I only get tattooed by the same artist now here in Florida. And so, it gives me time to kind of think on them. If I think of them while I'm in Arizona, that gives me a couple months usually before I come home to make sure.
Are you planning already on the next tattoo?
Yeah, I texted her.
Ooh.
I texted her yesterday to ask for an
Is it a
appointment.
secret, or can you
No.
share?
I love
Where?
this internship. Freddie and Dawn are wonderful, but I am not being paid. So I haven't had money to get tattoos, but I'm doing some babysitting this weekend on my days off from here. And so I texted my artist to see if I could go in on literally the day before I leave to go back to Arizona, because that's like the last day I have off, to see if I could come in. And I've got like 4 things that I want. The thing is, I have gotten 4 tattoos in one sitting from her before. I don't have the money to do that, so I'm going to have to budget and see which ones are going to fit with my babysitting money. But like one is also kind of a little bit for my mom. A lot of these are, a lot of them, you know, my love of music really came from her. So her favorite Eagles song was Desperado.
Oh,
And there's a line,
that one's very sad.
it is, but there's a line in the song about the Queen of Hearts is always your best bet. So I want like a card like a Queen of Hearts
Okay.
and say always your best bet. And then what else do I want? Okay, so I love like Meatloaf, like the singer. And he has a song called Rock and Roll Dreams Come Through, and it's basically just about how much music can make you feel better and change your life, and how important it is. And there's a line in it, and the angels had guitars even before they had wings.
Nice.
And so I kind of want like an angel, like with no wings, but like the kind of in the robe where you can tell it's an angel.
And just tie
like
all
a
of it into
guitar.
like one. Be kind of funky.
Some people do that. Some people, their sleeve, they sit usually several times, several sessions, but it's all interconnected. It's all planned out. I kind of just get mine, like if you look, I just kind of one at a time, with whatever I feel like.
Do you think that one day you'll just like join them all together? Like you'll stick like a little one right here and then a little one right there?
You know, and some people do that. I'm only 21 years old. I've got the rest of my life to be getting tattoos. I'm not, yes, I have several ideas. I've got like 4 that I want. But I'm not like in a rush. And that's why like my artist, if she doesn't have an appointment on that one day that I have off, she'll be here next time. She's not going anywhere. You know, I'll wait until next time I'm back home.
I feel like I want to donate some money like toward your tattoo for your mom. You know?
You know, and me and my mom were like best friends. Like I used to, living out in Arizona, I used to call her like 2 or 3 times a day, like just to chat. Just like I would get bored and I would just call my mom.
That's cute.
I'm a very extroverted person. I'm a very social person, and so I don't like spending time. Like when I'm just by myself, I'm like, what am I doing? Like I'm bored. So I would just call my mom, and you know, my brother's a very quiet kid, and my dad is a pilot, and so was out of the house a lot of the time. So my mom, like I think she missed kind of having someone to hang out with and chat with. So we would just talk on the phone like all the time.
That's great.
Sometimes she'd be at work and she'd be like, okay, Anna, I'm at work. And I'd be like, oh, fine. Like, okay.
So talking about friends,
Mhm.
I know it's not the same, but
Yeah.
many people, you know, they are really, their best friends are their pets. So
Mhm.
how do you deal that with that in a relationship? What about you have different kind of pets?
I have a cat. His name is Pigpen. I call him my son.
Yeah.
If someone didn't like my cat or didn't want a cat, that would 100% be a deal breaker.
I
I'm
wouldn't
like,
date
no.
them.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like I've chosen to take this cat in. He's a rescue. You know, I've chosen to bring him into my home, and I'm not just gonna get rid of him for some dude.
So-
Luckily, my boyfriend loves my cat, but
So you are more a cat person, or just because it was a cat?
I grew up with dogs. My mom was allergic to cats. And then I went off to college, and I was like, I miss having a pet. So me and my old roommate, we don't live together anymore, but we tried to get a dog, and that was a tornado. That was a disaster. We did not have the time. We did not. She really pushed to get a puppy, whereas I wanted like an older dog. And that dog lives with my uncle now in Arkansas because we could not handle him. And so I really liked having a pet and having an animal around. And I really wanted a cat, and actually this was when I was dating my ex-boyfriend, because I've had my cat for a while now. One of his friends just wanted to like dump it outside, and I was like, no.
Oh my
I was like,
God.
give me the cat. That's why I say he's like a rescue. He's not actually from a shelter. I was just like, give me the cat. Like
I
he
will take
kinda-
care of him.
He kind of just fell into my lap, and it's been like perfect. He's a little black cat.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
What about you? So if,
Well,
of course, if
I'm
they don't
s-
accept your
okay.
pet, you cannot
I'm
deal
very
with
specific. They can't have a dog to compete with my dog, and if they do have a dog, it has to be able to get along with my dog. And my dog is 8 now, so he probably has a lot of life left. So, you know, they have to mesh. I had a boyfriend that did not want my dog to come over when I was over there, and I finally said to him, "It's like it's not fair to my dog that you don't want my dog at your house, and because my dog sleeps with me, and she's had me for, you know, 9 years, and now, you know, her life is changing." So finally I convinced him to allow me to have the dog there. But you know what? I think that her heart was broken because she sensed that he didn't like her. And then he didn't want the dog to sleep with us when I slept over there. And so, a couple things happened, and one thing led to another thing. She had her paw got stuck in the door. And that first year we were together, she died. She started having seizures and she died. And my heart was so broken. So, to make it up, he immediately got me another dog, which I love him more than life itself. But seriously, you have to like my dog. And if you don't like or love dogs or animals, that means that we're not going to be together.
I think it's a red flag in general if someone just hates animals or doesn't it's one thing to say you're not in the right place in your life to have a pet, you're too busy to acknowledge that, but to just straight up not like them, I'm like, what's wrong with you?
I love pets. To see them with other owners, I enjoy it. I can pet them, everything, but to have a pet myself, I'm not that person.
But you
okay
acknowledge
too.
that, and you don't say, "Oh, I hate dogs."
No, not at all. But there's certain things that I cannot deal with. For example,
and I think that's much better. But it would definitely be I would kind of be like, "What?" If they were like, "No,
I think it would
hate
be
animals."
a deal breaker if they didn't like my dog
Yeah,
or want
definitely.
my dog. And it just is. I mean,
No, for example, for me, because I'm not such a pet person, if I'm dating somebody and they have a pet, let's say, imagine a dog, a cat, and they sleep with them, that's a deal breaker for me. I cannot sleep with a pet.
Interesting.
I cannot, and I grow up with pets. It's not that I don't like pets, but I cannot do certain things. Let them lick me all over. I cannot do that. No way. If that's what you're expecting from me, I love you, but I don't. I can't. But because that's not who I am.
And that's fine. And it's better to say that at the beginning and acknowledge it then.
and I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at an experience that I had one time.
Tell us about it.
I was dating this guy, and I had my dog, and the dog was in the bed, and we had a little dog, and we had a little stuffed animal, and it was a raccoon, so we called it Coon. And so we were in the middle of and all of a sudden we heard a squeak, and the two of us just started laughing because it was between us.
Oh, wow.
It's so funny. And it's
So that kind of things, no way for me.
My cat will sleep in my bed, but when my boyfriend is there, my cat's almost mad. He's like, "You took my spot." What?
Of course.
But the thing is, my cat has other beds and other he
Do you have a
doesn't.
king size bed or a queen size bed?
I have a full size bed.
A full, okay.
But at my bed in Arizona, I have a little ottoman right next to it, and sometimes he just sleeps on there. Even when the other half of the bed is open, sometimes he just decides to sleep on there. Or here, there's a lot of my stuff from growing up because I'm home, with my dad and stuff right now. And there's this little Winnie the Pooh chair. It's a little plush chair that I got for when I was 1 for Christmas. That my cat has decided is his new bed.
Okay, wait.
So
one more thing. Okay, so I've had guys that have gotten jealous of my dog.
that's weird.
Seriously.
That's really?
Yeah, well, because, the dog wants to sleep in the middle with me and protect me and everything, So, but anyway, go back to Winnie Pooh.
Oh, well, he just decided that that's his new bed. So it's even sometimes when the other half is open, he doesn't always choose to sleep with me. So I don't feel like it's that big a deal. If my boyfriend's there and the cat doesn't sleep in the bed, but also sometimes he will. But on my side, he's you're forcing me over here. He gets a little salty. The cat's the one that gets jealous. My boyfriend doesn't care. My boyfriend loves the cat, tries to give him treats and make him like him.
What about different kind of pets? For example, if the person has, I don't know, a snake.
Dragon. What? No, there's a little
Or
dragon.
I
something
love
like that.
snakes.
Really?
So I volunteer. I
Oh, no.
volunteered at a nature center up in Hope Sound at the Hope Sound Nature Center. I volunteer there, and there's snakes and gators and turtles, and we hold all of them. We get them out and do demonstrations with the kids. We teach them one finger, and you go with their scales. So I'm trained to hold all those animals. So yeah, that wouldn't bother me either. I had a bunny growing up.
Spiders or something like that, or any.
Spiders wouldn't be my favorite, but the snakes don't bother me. And I grew up having a bunny, so I've been around that. So I also don't mind bunnies, hamsters,
Well,
guinea pigs, stuff like that.
next time I want to tell you about my snake story.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so with that, we are gonna wait for next time for the next story. So thank you very much. That's been all for today of the New View.
Well,
Thank you.
oh, can I tell about this snake
yes.
story? Oh
Yes.
my God!
Okay.
You know what?
Oh, sorry. We have
they
more
tricked
time.
me.
Okay.
Oh my God!
Tell me,
Listen,
tell
so
us.
I was in college.
Uh-huh.
It was, it's one of my friends. She was dating this guy, Matt. Matt was a bartender. He was really hot. Not that that means anything, but. And then there was Jill, Matt and Jill. And they started dating, whatever. And Matt had this big snake. It was like this big boa snake. And in the middle of the night, the snake got loose and was like in the bed with them.
Oh no.
And
Oh my goodness.
she was just freaking out. I don't know what I would have done. That would just like totally creep me out. But seriously, that's my snake story.
I don't know.
really?
I don't know what I would do in that situation.
I mean, it was a big one too. It was like when I was
Pass
this
out.
thick.
Minimum.
But
Pass
I
out.
like them when like I choose to hold them. I don't know what I would do if they were unexpectedly just.
And can you imagine moving
Oh, they're slimy.
underneath? Ooh,
Ugh.
no.
Yikes.
That's too much. That's too much. But it's true. You know, I think that pets. The reason why I don't really. It's not that I don't like pets, but I believe that if you have a pet, it's a responsibility. It's almost
Yes.
like an eternal baby son.
Yes.
or
It is a
dog.
baby.
Because it's a baby. So you have to have the dedication, the time, the effort, everything. If not, if you're busy and you say, this is not the time of my life to have a pet, then it's better to say no. Because sometimes people get pets, but they don't take care of the pets. And maybe
And
that's part of my...
Like I said, me and my roommate, we did that, and I felt so guilty about it because I never wanted to be a bad pet owner. And why he now lives in Arkansas with my uncle, where he has a lot of land and much more
Oh,
time, and his wife doesn't work, or she works from home or something, so she has way more time to spend. Like I'm glad that he's in a much better situation now, but for the couple months that we had him, I felt so guilty. I was like, this is terrible. Like we are college students, we have lives, we both had jobs, you know. I was like, and also he was a puppy, so he was not trained. So but then I was the only
everywhere,
one. I was the
probably.
only one trying to train him. My roommate didn't do anything.
Yeah,
So.
so that gets
Wow.
complicated. Yeah. So well, now yes, this is it. Thank you very much.
Thank
this
you,
is all for the
everybody.
New View today. See you next time.
This was fun. Bye.
And that concludes another thought-provoking episode of The New View Show. We hope that our exploration of diverse perspectives and in-depth conversations has left you with a renewed sense of curiosity, empathy, and a deeper understanding of the world around us. Remember, the journey does not end here. The discussions sparked by The New View Show are meant to continue beyond the confines of this program. We encourage you to take what you've learned, share it with others, and engage in meaningful conversations in your communities, both online and offline. Thank you for watching, and join us next time.